All right, guys, we are live. This is 2 minutes and 35 seconds countdown until the Bitcoin Cash hard fork occurs. Right here in the center of the window where my mouse is, this is coin dance. So we're going to have that timer in the background. And then I've got all these relevant windows around us. We have hashwars.cash, which shows, again, the timer countdown and the price that's being traded on Poloniex for the Bitcoin Cash ABC and the Bitcoin Cash SV futures tokens. And you can see right now Bitcoin Cash ABC has a huge lead, $280 compared with Bitcoin Cash SV's $92. So a big lead there. Then over here we have hashwar.live, and this here is a live stream as well as a chat room and a live hash rate monitor with blocks mined. So we have ABC blocks here, SV blocks here. Again, guys, we have 1 minute and 30 seconds until this happens. And I've got the Poloniex window up on the top right with, the Bitcoin Cash ABC, the Bitcoin Cash SV, which looks like SV has just plummeted and Bitcoin Cash ABC has just kind of skyrocketed up 34%. So far, Bitcoin Cash ABC is in the lead as far as the exchange is concerned, but that has nothing to do with the blocks. So this is going to be very, very interesting. On the top left, there's this interesting post I just found. It says, did Bitmain just move 300,000 Bitcoin Cash to an exchange? I thought to myself, Jihan is from Bitmain and he supports BitcoinABC, so why would he want to sell all his Bitcoin Cash? That's very unsettling. But I suddenly realized upon reading this that that's probably just to dump the Bitcoin Cash SV. So Jihan is playing a very hard game right here. He's put a bunch of Bitcoin Cash on the exchange, ready to sell the Bitcoin SV, it looks like, to plummet this price even more and to gain the upper hand on the value, because the value of the currency determines how many miners are going to want to mine this. We got 15 seconds, guys. 15 seconds. 12, 11, 10. Okay, here we go. Let's see if this Hashwar live graph is going to start working. 3, 2, 1, and the hard fork has just occurred. Let's see what's going to happen here, guys. The suspense. Oh, okay. It says the next scheduled Bitcoin Cash network upgrade will go live as soon as 6 more blocks have been mined. Okay, so we're waiting for that now. And Bitcoin blocks are about 10 minutes per block. So we may have a little bit of time to wait here, and I will keep this going and just edit the video so you don't have to wait that entire time. In the meantime, let's cover this one article where, again, it sounds very exciting. So this is Jihan with 90,000 miners racing toward ABC, and apparently he set up a caravan of miners heading toward the remote regions of China, joined by an army of Bitmain personnel with the aim of doubling Bitmain's current 120,000 mining machines by adding 90,000 new ones to give BitcoinABC the upper hand in this hash war. And they have found cheap electricity rates as low as 5 cents per kilowatt hour. And they're currently strategizing to put 5,000 machines per farm that they come across in the remote regions of China and Inner Mongolia if they can't find enough space in the other farms. So again, this is extremely fascinating. It's like cyber warfare, Bitcoin crypto style, where you have one side pitted against the other, no weapons involved, no killing involved, no hurting people, just hash rate and equipment and mining hardware pitted against the other side. It's pretty cool. It's like the future of battles and war. So let's go to Coinbase here. So we have Bitcoin Cash going at $393. That's the lowest I have seen in a very long time. It has reached some new lows with the scares that have followed this hard fork. So again, we're just waiting for a few more blocks to be mined for this to go live and be active. Let's see what the Poloniex market is trading these at. So Bitcoin SV is currently down to $99.99 at negative 50%. And Bitcoin Cash ABC is at $270. That's plus 24%. Man, I really hope they drop these extended names because it's a mouthful. Not only do we not just have Bitcoin, we have Bitcoin Cash. Well, now we have Bitcoin Cash ABC, Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision. These are just some extreme mouthfuls. We need to drop some of the extra symbols. So really, hopefully, I hope that we just have one winner here. And personally, I hope it's BitcoinCash ABC, and then we can just go back to calling it Bitcoin Cash. And then someday when it takes over Bitcoin, because it's superior scaling technology, we can just go to calling Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin. Wishful thinking perhaps, but that's my hopes for the future in the years to come. This is no short-term thing. But you never know what the next bull run is going to bring. Again, I really feel that Bitcoin is going to fail to meet the demands to scale in the next bull run. And I think that it's going to push a lot of people off onto other coins and other cryptos, including Bitcoin Cash, very much so. But everything else from Ethereum to EOS to Cardano, Litecoin, Ripple, these other coins, if Bitcoin can't scale, just like we saw a couple years ago, it's going to push people off. And if you go to coinmarketcap.com and you see the market dominance right here, Bitcoin's only at 52%. And it's been lower. It's been as low as 33% at its low. And when that happens, if you look on the graph, that's when the alts boom. And so that's why I feel that when the next bull run happens, the alts are going to boom when Bitcoin fails to scale, because that's exactly what happens. See right here, this purple line, this is Ethereum. Look at it, it's an inverse graph, exactly inverse graph to the orange line. If you look at the purple line and the orange line here, it's exactly inverse. And so Bitcoin crashed in market dominance here, and Ethereum climbed in market dominance. That's because Ethereum was eating Bitcoin's lunch. And here we have Bitcoin at its all-time low market dominance, and then we have Ethereum at its all-time high market dominance, because Ethereum was taking the transactional volume from Bitcoin purely and only because Bitcoin failed to scale. And again, then Bitcoin raised a little bit here, Ethereum dropped a little bit here. So it's all inverted. And I think we're starting to see some of the other cryptos get involved in this as well and soak up some of that bleed off from Bitcoin's failure to scale. I do not think that Lightning Network will be ready in time. Decentralized routing has not been solved on Lightning Network, so that even if they get it to work, it's not going to be decentralized. Then what we're going to have is a bunch of centralized spokes and hub models, which are basically the same as banks. And they'll have to be registered, and they'll have to have AML and KYC because they are money transmitters. And so I do not see Lightning Network working at all. In fact, I see it as being the biggest failure of Bitcoin since its inception. That's probably the one thing that Craig Wright and I would agree on, is that SegWit and Lightning Network are the biggest failures ever to be created on BTC. And so that's why Bitcoin Cash is the superior coin. And sometimes it takes a while for the market to recognize this, because the market can be irrational longer than you can be solvent. And we are seeing that. I think we've seen that for the past couple of years now, where the market's being irrational. Well, I guess it's been 1 year since August 2017 when the fork happened. And it just takes a little bit of time for the market to realize. You have a lot of media pumping Bitcoin, the symbol BTC. Everyone knows Bitcoin. Not as many people know of Bitcoin Cash, but they will. And I think that the media will be all over this when Bitcoin fails to scale to meet the demands during the next bull run. I think that we're going to see prices as high as $100,000 plus. But like I said, the only clincher to that is the failure to scale. I think that Bitcoin would reach $300,000 during the next bull run, but I don't think that's going to happen if they can't meet the demands of scaling. And I think that the market dominance is going to drop, and it's going to push a ton of people off of Bitcoin into coins such as Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, etc. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. That'll be in the next year or two when we pull up on the next bull run. So again, that'll be another interesting time to watch. But again, I don't think that they're ready to scale. BTC has completely underestimated and missed the boat as far as timing. You'll have a lot of people who say that Lightning is the saving grace. I think that Lightning is not only not the saving grace, but it's also the total destruction of Bitcoin as far as a universal global money, because not enough people can use Bitcoin. And when you have a centralized Lightning Network system that's basically no better than an IOU and a bank system, then what have we recreated? The banking system. So right now, Bitcoin is essentially the banking system recreated with its Lightning Network attempt. that doesn't even have decentralized routing. So if they can ever get that to work, maybe there's hope, but they're kind of like running out of time because it takes a long time for adoption to occur. It takes, years for companies to adopt new systems. And so if they think that suddenly by making Lightning Network work, even if they got it working today in a decentralized manner, I think it still would not be ready to meet the demands because you need a lot of time for companies to adopt Lightning. Lightning is no simple software to integrate into your company. You need these nodes that are on 24/7, and it's completely different than the system that Bitcoin was built as. So no company has that software ready to go. And they're all going to have to spend man hours and time and money building that software. And it's going to take years upon years upon years. So right now, as I see it, Bitcoin BTC is a guaranteed failure to scale during the next bull run. And so it's only a matter of where's that money going to go? And I think we're going to see. But anyways, that was my rant on the whole scaling debate. Let's get back to this. So we're still just waiting for 6 blocks to be mined on the Bitcoin Cash network. Okay, yeah, this user confirms there are still 6 blocks to go. So we're still waiting on that. Very exciting, guys. I've never seen anything like this happen in my 6+ years of cryptocurrency research and passion. Look at that. We have a Coingeek block right here with a different version number. I don't know if there's any significance to that. But then another Coingeek block with the same version number. I don't have any data on what that means, so I'm kind of just pointing that out. I don't see any other blocks with that version. That's interesting. And the last block was 14 minutes ago. So we're just waiting on those 6 extra blocks for this to all go live. I imagine there's a lot of hash rate that's being turned on right now. If you have these 90,000 plus 120,000 machines from Bitmain all being revved up right now, just imagine these things turning on in China and Mongolia. And then you have BitcoinSv and Coingeek pools revving up their hash rate. And what do we have right now? I mean, the last time that this pie chart was made, we have 36% for Coingeek hash rate, 22% for SV pool, 7% for BMG pool. So they have 2/3 plus of the hash rate because we also have mempool and I believe even OK pool. Although I don't see OK pool on here. That's fascinating. They've dropped off the map. Very fascinating. I don't know if they moved into another pool. They might have just pushed their hash rate onto SV pool, which is possible, because they disappeared and SV pools got larger. So maybe OK pool didn't want to make this publicly known. I'm not sure. Oh, sorry, when I say OK pool, I mean OK miner here. There's no OK miner. So if we add this all up, it looks like almost 3/4 of the hash rate as per this graphic, which is probably not up to date in favor of BitcoinSv. All right, guys, so I'm going to keep watching this. I'm going to cut the video here and I'm going to come back when we've got that 6th block mined, and we're going to just do an update on this. Stay tuned. Currently, BitcoinSv dropping $92 per coin, and BitcoinABC climbing to $280 per coin. Actually, if you add those up, that's only $370. It looks like the overall sentiment is maybe the market's scared because they're not valuing this split as a total higher than when it was before the split. All right, guys, we'll come back in a second. Nothing has happened. We're at $93 for Bitcoin Cash SV.
If you kind of think about it, it's kind of the same way as like hash battle, right? Hash wars. Like you can win a hash battle temporarily by burning it, like hashing at a loss. But how long can you do that? Can you sustain it? If it's not sustainable, it's just like open source developers who are burning the midnight oil to get some change in. But in the long run, this is not going to sustain the system for the next 50 years.
What's happening now is what should happen in the sense that miners fund their own developers, and we've got 2 camps that are funding their own. It has to be that way because what happens with open source teams that are working for free? Well, of course they're going to get hijacked. Of course they're going to someone's going to pay them under the table for political interests. I mean, that's what happened with Core.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it all goes back to the miners once again. The injection of value into this system is by conversion. I know we use the word burning. In a sense, it is kind of burning electricity, but you can all see as converting the energy from electricity into value on Bitcoin. And that's why the only injection of real world value is through the miners. So miners should be the ones who get the inflation. They use this inflation to pay developers and do other stuff. So, sorry to interject, but just a news flash. Bitcoin.com actually flashed about 4 exahash for a short period of time. And then now they're back down to 250 petahash. So
where did you see that?
In the Bitcoin Cash general chat, somebody posted a picture of Bitcoin.com up at 4,000 petahashes.
Jeez.
But it disappeared. It's not there anymore. So whatever they're doing, they're doing it like very, or they just faked the web page. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see when the blocks come in, and statistics will tell the truth of whether or not they actually had that.
That would be 4 exahashes.
Check fire.
Yeah. It's back down to 200 petahash, but something was going on there.
I wonder if Bitcoin.com's hash rate went up when they mined that block, when they mined that last block.
Mm-hmm. It would be hard to tell because what you could attribute for luck. I mean, if you do burst mining like this, like basically come in, mine one block and then disappear again, then you can kind of control your block production without actually affecting the difficulty. So you can kind of control that. You want to keep yourself like at the rate which you're not going to get wiped out, but
Do
not
you think
affect.
that's what they're all doing?
Maybe. Interesting.
I don't know. I don't know how they intend to do this, whether it's just tiny intermittent bursts. I mean, that may be the possibility.
There's a certain limit on how tight you can make this, though, because you can't switch all your hash that quickly. I mean, especially when we're talking in terms of exahashes, because there's just the physical amount of machines on the networking layer, the amount of switches you would have to change, because every mining machine has its own IP. You're going to have to do like a massive network level, like, DNS level change. And then it would take like maybe like 30 minutes or something like that. And then if you could do it again, and there's a lot of complications. So you can't do it like, in the minute scale. You could probably do it within like the half an hour chunk scale to an hour to flip everything over. Maybe even more, because I mean, I was doing calculations on the hundreds of petahashes level, not the exahash level. So probably times 10. Or they figured out a way to flip their hash quicker than what would normally be possible with on the networking layer, because not all that hash can exist in one place as well, right? It's just too big for one hashing farm.
Maybe it's all just going through one laptop. Still no new block.
Nope. And mining profitability has moved more even now, so it's only 0.6% more profitable to mine on Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is still more profitable, though. Just mined a block by SV Pool 2 minutes ago, but the next one will be a catalyst, I'd say.
So how do you, Ellie, can you explain for the audience, how did you determine that the next block would be the forking block?
Someone in BCH Slack said that golden number of 556766.
I see.
That's the block.
Okay. So an SV pool just mined that. And also, I guess it's Bitcoin.com's pool has moved all over their power. So we know that the game is on. Yeah.
Game is on. Hash battle on. Right.
So we are still on the 6th block. We are on the first. This is the first block number 556766, that determines the fork. And it was ironically mined by BitcoinSv. So we will see what the next blocks are then mined by. But it looks like we have a lot of firepower in the arsenal ready to be unleashed as needed. It looks like it's not needed yet, but it's just ready, sitting there. Kind of like a Cold War, if you will. So BitcoinABC is now ahead. It has 8 blocks to SV's 6 blocks.
This one shows that there's clearly two blocks that Bitcoin Unlimited and ABC sees, these yellow ones. But you'll see the SV nodes not have those blocks.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Earlier, Digitsu, you said they had 200 petahashes between both BTC and BCH.
Yeah, so it's not Bitcoin.com's. It's probably Jihan's as well.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense. Still a lot of hash rates come from BTC.
The exahashes are about 45 on BTC. So if 4 exahashes came over, that's only about 10% of BTC hash.
Can we go back to this idea that the world economy can't stop to have a hash war? I actually think that if the world economy depends on Bitcoin, then the world economy can stand a hash war.
Well,
under certain circumstances.
There is one interesting thing happening here. Someone has released a lot of transactions onto the BCH chain. So we're about to find out what happens when there is a hash war and a lot of transactions. So maybe the world doesn't have to stop if there's a hash war because all the transactions get in anyway. Doesn't matter.
Maybe. That would be ideal. Yeah. The problem is that even if they go in, the problem is that if the new imposed rule set is very different from the previous, and that causes a big mess. That would be the issue.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe someone is playing with a satoshi shotgun and with a Terra node or something.
Maybe.
One thing that let me just quickly take the screen again, which is an interesting thing I'm noticing looking at the mempools. You'll see because SV mined a block, right? So you can see that it was about and probably some swing on this because this website doesn't update as fast as the block came in, but something over 11 megabytes was what the mempool was on SV, and then it dropped down to something quite small, right? So like something less than 1, right? And that's because they mined the block. But interestingly, if you go to ABC, you don't see that drop. So those transactions are not, either they're taking very long to validate, but they haven't been removed from the ABC mempool. Maybe they're not valid on the mempool on ABC. I don't know. That's only SV chain is cleared during mempool. Or SV nodes, I should say.
Okay, guys, time for a little update. It's been about an hour or so. Right now, BitcoinABC has 13 blocks mined, and BitcoinSv is at 6. And if you look over here on coin.dance on the right side, again, all these blocks in blue are the blocks that have been mined after the fork, and on the right, BitcoinSv has only mined 2 blocks. And we don't know what they've got going on behind the scenes, but as of now, it looks like BitcoinABC is in the lead, definitely. And really, at this point, it's a matter of maintaining the hash rate, because we have seen right now Bitcoin.com pool has 4 exahashes of hash rate, which is more than double the previous hash rate on the entire Bitcoin Cash network prior to this fork occurring. So Bitcoin.com is definitely throwing their weight behind this, and this is just one pool of many. The proof is in the pudding. BitcoinABC has more hash rate right now than BitcoinSv. So the only danger is if BitcoinSv is going for the long game and they've got a lot of hash rate, longer than the 24 hours that Bitcoin.com says that they can go for, well then if BitcoinSv is working on blocks behind the scene, let's say 2 days or 3 days into the future, and suddenly they create the most proof of work, then their chain would then suddenly reorg and overwrite the BitcoinABC chain. And that would be potentially disastrous for transactions that had already occurred. It would be kind of like an undoing of history. And this could flip-flop back and forth. And that's exactly what we don't want to see, because we want transactional certainty and confirmations to be certain. So hopefully that doesn't take place. for the health of the Bitcoin Cash network. But I think that that's the goal of BitcoinSV, is to overtake this lead, this 7 block lead that Bitcoin ABC has, and overwrite their chain. So I say the hash war is not over. The beginning winner and the current winner is Bitcoin ABC. So really at this point, if Bitcoin ABC is smart, they'll just continue what they're doing for as long as they possibly can. They should just continue to mine with as much hash rate as they possibly can. Keep making blocks with lots of transactions, so that Bitcoin SV has to process them, and just stay so far ahead in terms of total hash rate output with blocks verified that Bitcoin SV can never catch up. Because again, if Bitcoin SV does eventually mine more blocks and catches up, it will reorg the entire chain. And that's exactly what Craig Wright was threatening. So far, they haven't done it, but it's only been an hour or two, and this could be a long game. And so I'm going to leave it at that. And guys, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for joining me for this monumental and historic event of the first major hash war and hard fork for proof of work in crypto history. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great day. Take care. And this is Colin with Colin Talks Crypto.